In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how you can turn yourself into Aela the Huntress from the Companions Guild within Skyrim. So whether you're planning to cosplay Aela for yourself, or if maybe you're just looking for some makeup inspiration for the next time you go to a Renaissance festival, I think this video is going to be the perfect tutorial for you. Comment down below who your favorite Skyrim character is. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, hi, and welcome. My name is Star, otherwise I'm very simply known as Lady Dead Rabbit here on the internet. And today we are going to be turning ourselves into Aela the Huntress from the Skyrim video game. If you don't know who Aela the Huntress is a popular Nord werewolf and a member of the Companions in the Elder Scrolls Skyrim game. She's known for her expertise in archery, sneaking, and her role as a trainer within the Companions. You can also have her travel along with you once you complete the Companions questline, and you can even marry her. So let's delve right into Aela's costuming. Aela's costume is pretty interesting and very unique. It's very Viking-esque. She wears this kind of brown, tart-looking dress with some fur on her shoulders and armor on her shoulders. She also has this very interesting necklace that's like attached to the actual dress. She has a belt that typically has like a knife or something on it. Sometimes she wears like a bow on the back. And then she also has some armor on the sides of her dress. Not to mention some fur boots, which is very classic Skyrim looking. She also has some pretty interesting arm sleeves that I believe also has some armor on it. Now that we have a full understanding of what Aela's costume looks like, let's focus on how we're gonna do the makeup. Aela has this kind of shoulder-length, somewhat messy, reddish hair that's parted down the middle. She also has pretty fair skin. Surprisingly, her face looks like, at least in my reference image, it looks like her face is covered in freckles. She has really bushy eyebrows, and she has really intense, heavy eye makeup. What's most noted about Aela's makeup is probably the 3 green stripes going down her face. Other than that, it looks like she's just wearing some sort of nude lipstick. Now that we have a full understanding of how we want to tackle Aela's makeup, let's just go ahead and hop right into the tutorial.
First things first, I'm going to go ahead and put in my contact lenses. I do apologize if this part grosses you guys out, but if you want to know the exact pair of lenses that I use, I will have them linked down in the description below. With the concealer stick, I am highlighting my forehead, the bridge of my nose, as well as the front of my face and my chin. Now that we successfully look like Homer Simpson with this 5 o'clock shadow, we're just going to blend that out. With the brown pencil liner, I am just going to be dotting all over my face to create a splurge of freckles. And then I'll just blend that out. Using a regular old bronzer, I'm just going to be contouring my jawline, my chin, as well as the sides of my forehead and my cheeks. With contouring, we always need a highlight, so with a powdered highlighter, I am just going to be highlighting my chin, my cupid's bow, my nose, as well as the front of my face and my forehead. Using just a regular brow pencil in the shade brown, I am now going to be filling in my eyebrows. As you can see, I'm not really being too precise with this. I'm kind of just brushing upwards, and I'm intentionally making it look very bushy. Time for the eye makeup. Going in with my Rick and Morty palette by Glamlit, I'm going in with this really intense shade of orange, and with a fluffy eyeshadow brush, I will be smoothing that out all over my eyes. You don't have to use orange. You can also use a very warm shade of brown or even a red eyeshadow. I think would work just fine. I know that some of you guys will probably ask where I got this palette. Again, it is from Glamlit, which is a makeup shop that is mostly sold on TikTok. Unfortunately, this eyeshadow palette in specific is limited time edition and is currently not being sold. With a fluffy brush, I'm just going to be cleaning off any excess eyeshadow that might have fallen on my face. Taking this black face paint by Wet n Wild, I am just going to be taking a little bit on the tips of my finger and rubbing it onto the tops of my eyelids. Going back in with that same eyeshadow palette, I'm now going into the shade Black, and I will be smoking it out all over my eyelids. And I'll be brushing off any of the excess that fell on my cheeks. Now with a black pencil liner, line both the top and bottom of your eyelids. With a black gel liner, I'm now going to be creating the actual wing. I'm purposely making this wing extremely elongated across my face, and I'm going to be making it very thick. Now with some mascara, I'm going to be doing a generous coat on the tops of my lashes. This isn't entirely necessary, it's just I wanted to darken my eyelashes. Now I'm going to fill in my lips. This lipstick that I'm using is called Twisted Kisses, and it is by Eddie Funkhauser. To be honest, I'm not sure if this lipstick is even being produced anymore. I got it a really long time ago. So if you're not able to find it, I would say any sort of muted nude lipstick should work just fine. Time for the face paint. As you can see here, I'm holding up my phone as a reference while I go in with this brown pencil liner just to make little marks where I want the actual face paints to line up with my face. In all, I'm making 3 stripes, one that goes across my lips, one that goes across my nose, and one that just goes across one of my eyes. The face paint that I'm working with today is by Snazzaroo, and it's this deep green shade. With a paintbrush that has been chopped up at the end to have an uneven texture, I'm just dabbing a little bit of water on the paintbrush and then going in with the face paint. The face paint is, of course, water activated, and I'm just brushing it along over the stripes that I made with the pencil liner. Typically what I do once the face paint starts to dry is I go in with my Rick and Morty palette, and with this deep green shade, I just go over and brush along the stripes that I've already created. This gives it a deeper green shade as well as helps keep it in place longer.
Alright, and there we have it, folks. Here is my full Aela the Huntress cosplay and costume makeup tutorial. I'm gonna really quick delve into how I actually put this cosplay together. First and foremost, I'm going to have the contact lenses that I used for this cosplay linked down in the description below. I don't think you necessarily have to use green contacts for this character. I think because of how old the Skyrim video game graphics are, you can actually have some wiggle room with what kind of contacts you use for this character. Personally, I would say any sort of really light green contacts or light blue contacts would work really well for Aela. I would also say you could probably get away with using white contact lenses for her, or maybe even a really light yellow, especially if you want to kind of give that werewolf aesthetic to this character. The fur I just got off Amazon. You can buy like little fabric rolls of fake fur. The armor, including the shoulder and the gauntlet armor, actually comes from another cosplay. It comes from my Sienna cosplay from The Witcher 3 DLC Blood and Wine. That costume came from my costumes, which unfortunately I do not believe they sell that costume anymore. But nevertheless, you can either try to make the armor yourself out of EVA foam. I know that there are a lot of tutorials here on YouTube for that because this is a very popular character. Or you can, if you have a 3D printer, you can 3D print the armor. I know that Etsy is a good place for that, for finding 3D files. The actual bodysuit for the costume just came from Shein. The only thing is I just took some scissors and I cut down it to give it this more cleavage look. And then I just took a broken belt that was similar to the necklace that she has and I sewed it up and down the chest. I am wearing a push-up bra for this cosplay, so I know it might seem a little bit weird, but I'm also going to link down below the type of bra that I wear for this cosplay for you other girlies out there. You might have noticed that I'm actually not wearing a wig for this cosplay. I'm just using my actual hair because my hair is currently shoulder length and red. But I will link down below a good wig for you guys to maybe consider using for this cosplay. That's kind of a wig I would recommend using if my hair wasn't already this color. Before we head out of the video, I do want to offer up 2 other videos I recommend you guys checking out. The first one is a recent tutorial on how I edit and film my TikTok content. So if you're new to cosplay and content creation, I feel like that would be a really good beginner tutorial for you guys. The next video I'm gonna have is actually a YouTube short. It is just a short of how I do my makeup as Aela, so in case you cosplay girlies out there really need to rewatch this video, but you don't have time to watch the full length of this video, I'll have that short link down below. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here, but I do hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you to the next one. Bye bye.